That's one of the beauties, I guess, of boiling on propane is you don't have to tend the fire. If this were a wood-fired evaporator, you'd be going all the time putting wood into the fire because you want to keep that fire just a roaring, right, to boil off your sap. The downfall, of course, of having the propane to boil with is it doesn't boil nearly as hot as you can with a wood boil fire, so it takes longer to boil it off. But the other thing is, if I wanted to take a break now and stop boiling, say if I had to go to town or something came up, then you just shut your propane off, the fire goes out, the heat goes away, and the sap just sits there. It's not ideal to stop the boil once you start it, but if you have to stop it, you have to stop it. There's not much you can do about it. On a wood fire, though, in order to stop the boil, it takes a long time for the fire to die out, and you'd almost have to drain your pans of sap. So in a wood-fired evaporator, once you start the evaporation process, it's pretty well continuous until you're finished with your sap and you have maple syrup, where I can start and stop this sort of at my leisure. So this is like a gentleman's way of making maple syrup, and it works great for me because I don't have a lot of taps, don't have a lot of sap, as you know, from the last little while. So this works good for me. And in a normal year, I might burn maybe 60 pounds of propane. So you could say that's a cost, a big cost to make syrup, and it is. But I mean, I'm not making syrup to sell and make money. I'm making syrup just as a hobby and a pastime, and it's good fun, and I don't mind spending that money. So, and I'm going to get 2 or 3, hopefully 2 or 3, 4, maybe even 5 liters of syrup out of it all. Alright, so we've been boiling now for, I don't know, 4 hours. We've got just a little over 4 liters left in the pan, and I've got about 6 liters left in my pot, so it's getting close to being finishing. But I'm having troubles with my burner. You can see on the side of the, just excuse me for a second, you can see on the side of the pan here, watch, a lot of soot. My burner is not burning very clean at all. Now, it's just there's soot everywhere. It never used to do that. I'm not sure what's going on, but there's not much I can do to that right now. So I'm just going to let this finish boiling, and when I finish this sap into syrup, then I'm going to take the burner and I'm going to clean it. I didn't clean it well this year. All I did was sort of brush it off and flash it up, and it burnt lid okay, so I went with that, but it's really, really sooty. There's a ton of soot everywhere, so I don't know a whole lot about this, but I'm guessing that I'm not getting a good efficient burn. I try to adjust my flame and adjust the oxygen. It doesn't do much good. So anyway, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to let this burn down or boil down. I'm going to make some sap out of that, or some syrup out of that, and then I'll go to work and clean my burner. See if that's any better for the next boil. So we're back again, and my burner is really a pig right now. It's just not doing it. I can't even make the sap boil. So I'm going to have to take emergency procedures, and we're going to shut her all down, and I'm going to take my pan off, let the burner cool, and clean out that burner, because all I'm doing now is just spraying out propane. It's not making any heat. There's hardly any boil going on in the pan at all. So she's kind of a semi-disaster here, but we're going to stop and try and clean my burner. So I shut her all down, and I took the burner in the barn in the shop there and cleaned it. So that's a much nicer flame. Look at that. That's the kind of flame we're looking for right there. Nice and hot, nice and blue. So we'll get that back on there and put some heat on it. Okay. so bad. Oh yeah. That's better. That's the flavor I've been missing. So we're not sure what this is going to do to the boil. Shouldn't do anything really. I'm down to 119. That should come back up to temp pretty quick, so that's more better. Alright, so we got her cleaned up a little bit. The flame is a lot better now. And just to tell you what I did, that's a cast iron ring burner, 65,000 BTU. All the little holes in the top of it, all it is, it's a hollow ring with a million holes in the top of it, and the propane comes through those and burns. Well, a lot of those holes were crudted over with rust, and so I took a little 3/16 drill bit, cleaned out each of the holes, and then I blew it all out with my air compressor, blow all the sediment out of it. It was pretty dirty. I was surprised how dirty it was. Normally every year I'll clean that before I start. This year I didn't because I figured I didn't need it, but I was wrong because I sure did need it. So anyways, she's burning good. I got the coals put to her now. She's heating up, and it should be back boiling here any minute. So a little bit of a setback, but soot everywhere. Anyway, you know what they say, if you're going to make an omelet, you got to clean your burner. So I'm going to tell you it was a good idea that I cleaned the bottom of that pan, because this is a piece of soot that come off the bottom of the pan. Oh sugar. Look at that. It's a 1/4 of an inch thick. Yeah, I think the burner needed to be cleaned. Okay, so we've been boiling now since about, I don't know, 9 o'clock this morning, and it's probably getting on to 6 o'clock. So we're doing pretty good. We're down here in my pan. I've got about 1 liter left in the pan. So we're getting close to go time. So I'm going to set up here, because before I dump this pan out into my finishing pan, I filter it. So I'm going to set up my filter. So I'm going to set up my filter here. What I have is a wool filter, a felt filter, and I wash it out good at the end of each season, and then I put it in a shrink wrap vacuum bag. So we cut this open. Put it in the shrink wrap bag. That helps keep it from getting, moldy or dirty or anything like that. And then I have these polyester socks. We just put them one inside. Well, actually I like to put 2 in there. Use a brand new one. I like to double them up. Don't ask me why, just because it's the way I am. And then I put them all together in my felt filter, and then I hang the filter on my homemade, by the way, filter holder. FYI, if anybody's watching. And these loops just hook over these studs like that. Okay, so now I have that kind of set up like that, and then somewhere's around here, yes, right here, I have some clothespins, and I just pin those bags on there so they won't fall down into the filter as I'm pouring the sap. One thing you have to watch for, I'm going to say, is the sap is stinking hot, so you got to be careful when you're pouring it that you don't burn yourself, right? So I'm going to put all this down on the floor. So now I get my finishing pan out and I set that right under the filter like that, right? So I got my filter bag set up and turn the heat up a little bit. I get my sap pouring mitts on. So then I take my sap and I pour it through the filter. Into the finishing pan. Just about like that. And this is my finishing pan, and then I'll finish this off. As it starts to boil, it's about, I don't know, 2 seconds, and it goes from syrup to garbage. I set up for bottling. I have a stainless steel funnel on the top here on this little stand. I wait for it to get to 219 and make sure it's at 219 for a period of time.